All right. Mm, In the last class, I think we little bit describe, we little bit discuss about uh, Python programming language. Python is multi-purpose programming language, right? What does we understand when we say multi-purpose programming language? Python is multi-purpose programming language. Can Khurshid Bhai tell us what is multi-purpose programming language?
It's a programming language that you can do many things with that.
Yes,
That's the basic understanding I have.
right, right. With Python, you can do web programming or software development. You can develop app, different kind of application. Even you can write scripting language to test software. You can handle Selenium. Selenium is set of tools that automates browser that can test software, any software. You can deal with data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. You can use it for ethical hacking or cybersecurity, and many more, actually. And big companies are using it, like Twitter, Google, NASA, Raytheon's, Pratt and Whitney, and many other large companies like Amazon. Okay. So if you can master the language in Python, you can learn any other programming language very easily. And Python is English-like language. The syntax you can read and understand what is it talking about. Okay. Now, uh, we are familiar with W3 Schools, right? W3schools.com. If you go to W3schools.com, I think I have to change my service. I'm using Spectrum. Sometimes it is working really good. Sometimes, you see? Okay. Python. If you click on Python, and here is Python tutorial, you can go step by step up to, we need up to polymorphism to deal with cybersecurity and ethical hacking. But you can learn also module, maybe dates and math are not necessary. You can use Python try and exception handling, user inputs, Python string formatting. Okay. We don't need all these things. These are for data science. We don't need it. Machine learning, we don't need it. We need to know function very well and object-oriented programming. Okay. In the last class, we discussed about variables and also comments. Okay. What is variables?
Am I
Variables.
answering or?
Yes, go ahead.
Variables are considered like placeholders or containers
Yes.
where you can keep the information.
Yes. Variables are nothing but just like containers where we can store data and can access data, use data whenever we need them. Okay. So variables is just like a money bag. Okay. Where we can put our money, our cards, our ID, and necessary stops. And whenever we need, we just open the money bag and use them. Okay. Variables is just a container where we can store data or information. Okay. Python has no command for declaring a variable. You don't need to declare it. A variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. For example, you don't need to tell what type of data is 5. Just we are writing x equal to 5, y equal to John, and we can print x, the variable, and whatever data we store in it, we can print and look into it. We can access it. X is 5, y is John. And you can also say a equal to 1000, say for example. And very important thing to note is we don't need semicolon in Python language. We don't have termination. Okay. In Java we have, but in Python we don't need. We don't have. Like b is 100, we can say sum equal to a plus b, but we can put a space or we can keep like that. That really doesn't matter. And we can say print is just a statement. I can say sum, right? Relevant. Now you can also say result a minus b. You can do division, you can do multiplication, whatever you want, and print results. and the result is 900. Okay. Is there any question?
Yes. Can we write data side by side rather than under, or do we need a comma there to do that if we do side by side?
Usually we don't do it in Python, but your question is whether we can do it like this.
Right.
This is your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Cannot
Yes.
assign to literal.
Literal.
So Python doesn't allow it, though in Java it is possible, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, these are part of variable, like x equal to variable do not need to be declared, that we already understood, with any particular type, and can even change type after they have been set. See, if you we call it reassigning to the value. Okay, when you say x is 4 and x equal to Sally, again, if you say x equal to 5,000, you are reassigning to the variable x, and it will print the latest one. Okay. Now, if you want to specify the data type of variable, this can be done with casting. Okay, like x equal to str means string 3. Okay, it will be 3 with quotation mark because we are casting it to string, and y integer 3 will be 3 because we are casting it into string integer. And if you want to cast into float, float is floating number like 3.0. We don't need to even understand this, okay? But I hope you understand it, what we are talking about, right? Okay. Now, you can just read it after the class and you can do the exercise, okay? We will come back to data types later on, okay? But today we are going to discuss with very important concept in any programming language, that is method or function. In other programming language, we call it method, but in Python, we name it functions, okay? Let's see, what are functions? What is function? What do you think? Can anyone try?
Okay. Okay. The function is a set of instruction given to a variable to do something.
Yes.
If it is, yeah, I think so, right?
Yes, very true. Function is a block of code. Okay. That we can check the definition. Function is a block of code which only executes or runs when it is called. So function is block of code. It can be one block of code, it can be 10 block of code, it can be even 100 lines of code that will be in one block, and it will be only executed when it is called by name. You have to call by name of the function. Okay. You can pass data, and these data are known as parameters into a function, inside the function. And function can return data as our results. Okay. Any question? Three things we have to understand. That is, function is just a block of code. The block of code only executes or runs or responds when it is called by name of the function. Okay. If you want to execute, if you want to run, if you want to make it working, you have to call it by name. Function will not be executed until or unless you call it by name. Okay.
Could you please give like a real example, like when you
Yes.
say,
Yes.
okay,
Yes. We will go through an example. And we can pass data, and these data are known as parameters inside the function, and function can return data as a result. Okay. Okay. Let's see an example. In Python, a function is defined using the keyword def. Okay. DEF. It's a keyword. Like def, my function is name of the function, then parenthesis, then a colon. And when you press enter button, automatically the next line will be here with two spaces. Okay. It will go under this function with two spaces, and inside the function you can write programming code as many lines as possible. Okay. It can be one line, it can be 5 lines, it can be 10 lines, even it can be 1,000 lines. Okay. Now let's see an example. Okay. So function starts with a keyword, that is def, DEF. Okay. The name of the function, it can be anything. Okay. It can be run. Okay. Then colon. not semicolon. It will be a colon. Just press enter. If you are using any IDE, integrated development environment, it can be PyCharm, or it can be Eclipse, or any IDE. Automatically, it will go inside the function like this, okay? Since it is not integrated development environment, it's going, the cursor is going just behind the dot. But in function, there will be two space, 1, 2, okay? Then you can start writing whatever code you want to write. You can print, say, for example, Python is easy. Okay. Now it's going just under the print. Okay. Inside the function, you can print another statement. Can be, we are learning Python. Cybersecurity with Python. Okay. Now, if you run it, actually, it's not responding because you are not calling. If you want to make it running or executing, then you have to go outside of the block of the function. Then you have to call it by name. Name of the function is run. Okay. Then you can run it. What it is saying? Python is easy. Okay. I forgot to close the inverted commas. Okay. So Python is easy. We are learning cybersecurity with Python. If you don't call it by name, it will not be responding. Nothing will happen. Okay. Now, since under this function, you can write as many programming codes as possible. You can keep writing some other codes or statements. You can say, okay. It will not be responding until or unless you call it by its name. And you have to call it going outside of the block of code. Okay.
I have a question here.
Sure.
Okay, the question is, so normally when you write, okay, you define the function, which is def, and then run is the name of the function, and the parentheses and colon. Okay, so you wrote the code in a different function, which is called print, correct?
Yeah.
So do we have to write the code inside of another function all the time, or we can write in a different way.
Or
But
you
to
can
me, you are printing these things only.
define as many function units. Okay, if you need more functions, you can define it. Run, maybe this is play. Okay, so
So,
this is executing, but this is not executing because we haven't called it yet. So you can define as many functions as you need.
so I guess I should ask you a question different way. In
Okay.
order to write code in Python, we must always use print. Is that right?
Most of the time, but not always.
Not always. Okay. My initial understanding was print is something where you use it in order to show it on the screen or
Yes,
do calculations, some
yes.
calculation, right? So to write the code for this function run or play, we must always use the print. That's what, and inside the parentheses. Is that right?
You can even use different data if you need. Okay, you can use variable. You can even use different data types. Okay.
Sir, I think his question is why we use the print and the curly, like the use write down print, then Python is easy. So why we are using print?
Yeah.
It is look like the
Okay.
another function.
Print is, yes, print is method. Okay, we call it inbuilt method. So method built in. And print is statement. Like in Java, we have system.out.println. Okay.
And also one more thing is if we want to see the thing inside the function, we have to use print. Like you see the other side, Python is easy. If you don't use the print thing, you can't see the these sentences over there.
Yes, you can write like print A plus B. And if you execute it, we haven't executed. You have to call it by name. Would it work if we execute it here? Call the function here. What do you think?
Yeah, it should work because isn't it outside of your code block?
No, it will not work because it is not outside of the block. The
Or you are
block,
saying it's
the
not
block,
indented.
yeah, you have to indent it. You have to
Okay.
go out of the block of the code, then you have to call. Okay. So
Okay, so now I guess I understood. Like if it is one is not indented, it's not out of the block.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So when you are indenting with two spaces, it is inside the block.